Let's get a quick check of the markets here. We're only 25 seconds left, and looks like the Dow up about 1 percentage point exactly. Nasdaq Composite up 1.64%. S&P 500 up over 1% to 4,837.64. And guess what, guys? That's going to be a record. It's been 3 years or 2 years in the making. S&P 500 finally hits a closing record high today.
It is amazing, Jared, because obviously 2023 ends at, we rip in Q4, right? And we end in, 24% for the SPX. Then we got it chopped around to start the year.
Yes.
Kind of a pause, took a bit of a breather. You saw some people maybe some booking some profits off what had been some incredible gains. Now, though, perhaps, getting back in and buying those tech names.
Yeah, and, it's interesting to think 2 years ago, S&P 500 top tick for the entire year. So I think it was the very first trading day of the year. That was the record high, and then it was down from there. And then just thinking about how we're coming into this year after a really surprisingly bullish year. We've had some bearish inklings in the month of January. Santa Claus rally was negative. First 5 days of January was negative. If the month of January itself ends negative, that portends red for the entire year with a decent statistical probability. But maybe the S&P 500 are going to turn things around for everybody.
Yeah, it is interesting because how many bulls that we talked to who said, when they looked at it 2024, why were they positive? Why were they constructive? It was because, the Fed, I don't know how many strategists we heard this from. The story kind of went, the Fed's going to cut early, they're going to cut often, and the rally's going to broaden. And now, though, actually, you see, as you were talking about earlier in the show, Jared, people may be getting a little skeptical of how early they're going to cut and how often. And in fact, they love tech.
Yes, well, it's not mutually exclusive either. But I personally don't see the Fed cutting until we see a recession on the horizon, and that's not anything I expect to see this particular year.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk of Meta. So Meta is another stock. I believe it hit a record closing high. I don't have the data in front of me, unfortunately, but Meta has just been on a tear. And the year of cost cutting that Mark Zuckerberg instituted last year, where I think he reduced headcount.
Year of efficiency.
Yeah, 25%. Guess what, guys? That had a huge effect on the stock. And I wasn't going to count it out because I've seen these huge dips by Meta when it was Facebook before, down 20, 30%. It bounced back and actually bounced back quite a bit quicker than I thought it would this time.
This stock is an absolute monster. It's up about 180% over the past year. That doesn't mean any lack of love on the street. The street loves this name. Almost 90% of analysts who are paid to tell you what to do with the stock say you should buy it. And of course, it's the year of efficiency, as you mentioned, Jared. It's also people have decided a smart AI play.
Yeah, I would agree there too.